Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good day, good afternoon, and maybe good morning. Where are you joining from today? Welcome to the first episode in Digital World Talk. And I'm really, really excited to be here. I want you to know that this is the place that you will be educated, motivated, and inspired to do everything related to your online digital business. And so today I am so grateful to have a special guest, but I am going to give her time to just share with us who she is. Anna, over to you.
Wow, welcome everybody. I am so excited to be first episode. No pressure, Lamoy. No pressure. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Anna, I'm originally, please don't mind my voice, but I'm originally from St. Vincent, but I in Ontario, Canada. I've been in the banking education industry. I'm a mom, so you might hear my toddler. Yes, you will. And for sure, of course, a digital business owner. That's a little bit about me.
Awesome. So, Caribbean people, we're here today. So, gather around, gather around. Lots to learn. Thank you so much, Anna, for introducing yourself to us. So, you are a digital business owner, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're wearing several caps. I want you to tell us what inspired you to take that leap into becoming a digital business owner.
You know what? It is very interesting because sometimes you get to a point in your life that you're like, you know what? I need a bit more. You know what? I can't keep doing this. What is this, right? 3 to 4 roles, sometimes in one day, sometimes all of that in or three different cities. So that was a lot of commuting for me, right? Different cities across Ontario in one day, different jobs. And realizing that if it's a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there, either I want to go to an event with friends and family, it's almost finished and they're constantly rescheduling. You're trying your best, as sometimes we adults do. We don't get to see everybody for a while, even though we could be neighbors, right? As living in the area life as well here. And I knew that I wanted a different for my life, and I knew that change had to happen. And I was on the search, I was praying. Motherhood definitely changes things. I feel like it was definitely the accelerant for me, because while I a few years ago, we all know what happened, of course, and I still said I realized that digital is where I want to go. I don't know what I'm gonna do, I don't know where I'm gonna start, but it's where I'm gonna do. And I was deep in my prayer, but I know that of course that's what I wanted to do. And of course, you know, here I am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anna. And I
Mhm.
specifically like how you spoke about that. You prayed about it because what
Mhm.
I've come to realize is that oftentimes we pray, but the
Mhm.
way in which we're expecting God to answer that prayer, we're not
Mhm.
open to that. And I'm so happy that you were open to the opportunity that presented itself to you. And
Mhm.
so here it is, you wanting to start a business. And so,
Mhm.
Anna, you could have done several other things. You could have gone to open your own corner store. Maybe you could have started something at home, but you
Mhm.
decided that you were going to venture into the digital space. What about the digital space that was really calling you? And so you had to respond. What about it?
Well, like I said to you, I mean, at a time a few years ago, I've seen the businesses, the structures of companies that were really struggling if you didn't have any digital footprint, so to speak, right? You knew what roles you were in, you knew what happened. I mean, we were all there, and I knew that was what was calling me. Now, you mentioned digital, and I feel that yes, people do things on the side and different avenues, right? As we learned, but the thing is, for me, I didn't want to take on another role. So that's one. I didn't think I should take on another role. And I've never been, I gotta give a bit of background because I've never been afraid of hearing the word business, I suppose, regardless of whether it was background or not. Because growing up in the Caribbean, my family always been exposed to entrepreneurship. So that's at least one thing I think in my mind that I was never closed minded off of that or fearful of that, right? So I want to put that there out there. And of course, for me, I knew that there's flexibility and then there's flexibility. What I mean by that is, even though in one of my roles, at one of them, had great supervisor and everything like, the thing is you have to check in at a certain time. You still have to check in at a certain time, no matter how flexible they can do it. And for me, when I had my little one, I said to myself, you know what if I could do it today? What if things came up, the doctor appointments, things as children do, things come up. What would I do about that? What something that I can do? How truly flexible was it going to be? And I knew that lots of different things started ticking. My list based on this. Who even knew I was going to have a list? This just kept narrowing as you kept exploring other things. You're like, listen, that's not for me. That's not for me.
Yeah.
I did not want to do any other further upgrading as well. I got to put that up there because regardless of your career, yes, it's sometimes a necessity depending on what you're doing. But I didn't want to say to myself, well, let me do another. Listen, I came up here as international students. I was not saying to myself, I'm gonna go back into
Yeah.
the life at all immediately, just to wait as well. I did not want to do that. And realizing that we had training available, that was of course key. Because sometimes you're here in the roles, and of course, they're like, well, do this. Where's the instructions? There's no manual here sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you leave us there and you're like, okay, thanks, right? So I love that we had that aspect, realizing we had support as well. A little bit about things that were calling me to this specific.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I think those things that you have identified were on my
Mhm.
list. Just having a mentor and a coach, somebody who have literally,
Mhm.
walked that journey before so
Yeah.
that you're not, pulling out your hair as you go along, trying to figure
Yeah.
out how do I do this? How do I do that? Or
Mhm.
people are excited for you to get started and only to realize that you are left to figure it out. So that's really
Yeah.
amazing. So one of the other things, Anna, about starting a business is that you have the fear of the unknown. You're a bit
Mhm.
skeptical, especially if you had
Mhm.
tried before and you
Mhm. Mhm.
fail, and you have all of that just overwhelming you at the same time. How did
Yeah.
you navigate those challenges?
I mean, I feel like that's an interesting question because as a first of all, businesses, life in general have challenges regardless, right? So how do you deal with your challenges as they come? That's like the key thing, and then it kind of goes back to mindset. Well. But for me, like I said, I feel that as to your point, persons were could be skeptical. Be skeptical because one, it is something new. I understand that. Two, it's a business, and you're saying right? This is intense, right? Immediately you're saying, how would I be able to do this? I don't know nothing about business, right? Um, or even just the self doubt that happens. There's so many
Yeah.
different challenges. So for me, like I already mentioned to you, business was not something that was in mind. One of my challenges, if you don't mind, well, for me, initially I was like, wait a minute, this has to be so. I didn't. You couldn't find me on social media. I remember after starting this business, someone said to me, "I've been looking for 15 years," and I was like, "What are you talking?" And they connected with me and everything because you can find me. You could not find me at all. And I know you're probably thinking, this generation or whatever, and it really does. It's your person. Just wasn't me. But recognizing the power of social media, recognizing
Hmm.
you have available at your fingertip, and we're already on it. Right, regardless if you were on it, you don't want to let that pass you by. So for me, the mindset saying to myself, okay, do I really? I'm already a private individual. Do I want to be there? Realizing that it's not being in an influencer stage or anything like that. You don't have to be reaching out for X amount of followers or anything like that. I just genuinely enjoy getting to know people. People enjoy getting to know me, I hope. And that's simply what is that I for my aspect. And I thought that, right? Because sometimes you have the impression, oh wow, I can't be looking for these followers and all of this, right? And I love that this business has nothing to do with that. You don't have to keep into your network, right? As people think of when you're in the digital space, you have to go and knock about with people and all, and pull them in and call them and all of that, and you don't have to. And I feel like that definitely something for me um that called me, because that was I wasn't exposed to it, but I also understood what it was because I've seen posts. and I saw the toll it took on them in certain businesses like that. And I knew that wasn't a challenge I wanted to overcome. It wasn't even on the list, you know? Yeah.
Amazing. What I love about this business is it doesn't matter your personality type. You can
Mhm.
fit right in because you are going to be trained for this business. And I
Mhm.
have one last question for you. Maybe there are some individuals out there, maybe they're watching live or they're going to catch
Mhm.
this replay and they want to start, but all of these things they're thinking about. Oh, am I going to be successful? I wonder if now is the right time. Anna,
Mhm.
please help me. Speak to those individuals.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I haven't walked your journey. I don't know what your questions or concerns they are valid. But for me, two things I always say to persons, you need to check in and say what it is that you want in your life. And you're like, well, of course, I know what I want, right? But sit down and really evaluate what it is that you would like for your life. And let me tell you, when I say to evaluate it, actually write down the ones that you whisper to yourself and laugh at yourself. What you for? It may surprise you. And two, check your mindset because if you that you can, you're gonna. If you start thinking you're not going to, well, how that's gonna go because little by little, you're gonna keep wearing down your mindset. Why is it I see somebody heading out there so confident, right? You have different leaders around and whatnot, and you're saying to yourself, wow, you're impressed or whatnot. But the thing is, it's their mindset, especially when you're in a stage, whether digital or in person. Sometimes negative you get negative feedback, or you are around coworkers who are not friends, and you feel sometimes that office environment is not the best in some cases. Maybe you know what I'm talking about, and you feel pulled down. How do you go get up and go every day? You work on your mindset. I hope the things you're telling yourself is the good ones, but you work on your mindset, and it's 100%. So for me, it's check your mindset, and two, write down the things that you want, right? Explain it out, write it out, no matter how big, no small. Because you know what? One thing this business has taught me is, especially community as well, just like meeting you and me here, which I would never, is realizing that the little dreams that we would scoff at, or sometimes we're afraid to tell closest to us or whatnot, are possible within this business. It's not without hard work. It's not without making sure you have an amazing system in place. And yes, of course, if you believe, it's also with prayer. But you know what? People pray hard, and sometimes, as you mentioned, you don't see. Sometimes you forget to pray to say, "Hey, let me see the option when it comes." Right? Does that be the option? I don't know. But you know what? Don't just pray with a prayer without action. Where are we going? Where are we going? So those are the little bit of advice I would say. And of course, see for yourself. You can hear we talk all day. You can hear us talk all day, but find what you want, check your mindset, and see for yourself, right? We don't know what can happen. What can happen a year from now, 2 years from now. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait for you to see more episodes of this, to see the trajectory. Because for me, I'm enjoying the flexibility. I am definitely not doing as many roles as I definitely was not doing it anymore, but at the same time, I mean, for some that may sound boring, but for me, that's valuable to me, helping my parent retire, keep working towards that, spending that time with them, because you don't know how long everyone is here for, and I want to live life not just when it's weekend. And I say that all the time. I want to be living it, like if I'm excited, get excited for the vacation, and it's every day. Up or down, that's okay. But if I can have that satisfaction every day, I'm good.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Anna, for coming to share with us, my St. Vincent sister. I
Mhm.
am grateful for that. And you heard it, maybe this business is just that prayer answered, but you have to do something. We in Jamaica, we could say we could carry the horse to the water, but we can't force him to drink. So we have told you, now it's up to you. So until next time, walk good.